Jakey Jakey.
What's up?
I'm different location.
I see that.
I'm also a little side. There we go. My God, my
I
whole
thought you
heart
were good.
box. My parents, chilling with the parents. Literally, Jake, coming from my mom's basement. So,
So you were the cliche that everybody assumes.
top that.
Did you
Top
see
that. Everyone else in fantasy.
Oh no, you're not Instagram anymore.
No.
Angela Williams even took a shot about the basement thing because I tweeted the picture about the cheesecake that my mom made for my birthday because the lady who bakes it normally stopped baking it. And I said that my dad dropped it off Sunday morning because my birthday was on Sunday because they know I'm working. So D'Angelo jumped in and
2
said,
Sundays ago, Jake.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
D'Angelo said, your mom couldn't just bring it to the basement.
That's right, baby. Parts unknown.
That is true.
All right. Nandi and Jacko. We'll take it. I'll take it. Let's get to it, Jake, because there's a lot of weird waiver wire stuff going on. I got into a bit of a tussle with Chris Vaccaro this morning on our podcast. He doesn't believe it. I mean, he makes a lot of good points. Ty Johnson isn't guaranteed anything. Frank Gore has a concussion. He could be cleared of protocol and practicing again like Wednesday. But still, if you got to make your waiver wire moves tonight, what do you think?
Yeah, so I did Chris Harris's waiver podcast today, and we
We
both
were name dropping left and right, huh?
No, I just because we always do the top 5, and we do the top 5, and his threshold is 33% or under. I do the waiver column is 60%. So Devontae Booker is still out there for some. Other wide receivers are still out there, more obvious names. But if you're going that far down, he was our number 1. He was both of ours. We agreed he's number 1. So I'm with you, mostly because it's volume. Like I agree.
Right.
Like Frank Gore could come back, but what do the Jets have to force him back, try and get him back? You know, they're not doing anything besides going 0-16. You know, Josh Adams is kind of more of a plotting. I don't want to call him plotter because it sounds disrespectful, but, you know, Ty Johnson, I'll put it this way. If you want a comparison, a visual, Tevin Coleman, as in he kind of needs lanes. He had a lot of lanes against the Raiders defense, but he kind of needs lanes. He can make the one cut and go. But if you ask him to find his own hole or make 2 or 3 moves, that's why Ty Johnson's limited. He was a 6th-round pick. That's why the Lions let him go. But he can get some volume work. I would say if he's getting 15 touches, RB2 maybe. But people are desperate right now. Like I have.
It's weird because you're desperate, but you're also in the playoffs.
Right. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of playoff teams searching for options. I just missed the playoffs in my home league for the first time ever in 13 years because I had to start Benny Snell because I was down Mark Andrews, DeAndre Swift, James Conner, and somebody else.
Yeah.
And I like that's some teams are forced to do that right now.
Drop your questions, by the way. If you're watching on YouTube, you drop them over there. If you're watching Facebook,
YouTube's over there. Facebook's
I
over
don't know,
there.
if Facebook's down here. YouTube's over there. Twitter, Periscope, just drop it in the comments. It'll show up on our little StreamYard thing. By the way, shout out to JockMKT for sponsoring this and making this all possible. And shout out to Eric Wong. Fantasy basketball draft kit's up. I don't know how many people out there play fantasy basketball, but it's live. And let me tell you how amazing. Let me just give a second. I haven't played fantasy basketball in about 10 years. And I signed up for a Best Ball 10 today, and I dropped $40 into my account to do like 3 more just because I feel like what I'm reading from him makes me feel so smart. And I read fantasy all day long. Everybody who contributes, we're working with the best fantasy people in the world. Eric Wong makes me feel like I know more about fantasy basketball than a lot of people. So there you go.
That's a good feeling to have.
Yeah, right? Let's get a question from Timothy Mozgov. What do you think Swift's role is once he returns? Back to being a workhorse?
I'm legitimately concerned for the first week. I mean, we heard it from Bevel. He said that he wasn't going to have that role last week. And granted, there was no practice all week, but
right.
You hear teammates saying he doesn't look right. Like he looks kind of off. And like
So,
that's a concussion.
Adrian Peterson used the term brain injury, didn't he? Like he didn't say concussion, he said brain injury. And that's when you're like, oh yeah, that's what that is.
He seems kind of like not all there. Like when you have teammates saying that, I mean, to chuckle at it, but that's concerning. And let's just say he practices all this week. Bevel has, you would assume it's funny. We sit here and we say, oh, the smart money, you use DeAndre Swift. Patricia was ruining DeAndre Swift. He's got to be smarter. Does he? What if he likes Adrian Peterson? What if he likes Swift in a complementary role? Like, we don't know what Bevel's going to do. We would like it to be better, but there's no guarantee it's going to happen. I don't think Swift is safe at all. I think he's got a very high ceiling, but I think his floor is also very low.
All right. We got a question from Hugh Jerrickchin. Jakey Jakey, thoughts on DJ Chark?
I can't believe you read it.
What?
So DJ Chark, first game back. He's in, we talked about it on the waiver show yesterday. Well, actually, it's turned into more of a roundup show with Beller and Funston, but most routes, most snaps, most targets. It just didn't pay off. There was one Mike Lennon interception that went to the safety instead of Chark when Chark was wide open. Could have been a huge play. I still think Chark is in the wide receiver 3 conversation with a nice upside. I would keep Chark in my lineup this week.
Jake, what are we going to do with this Washington football team backfield situation? I assume you just go J.D. McKissick no matter what the format because, he caught 10 passes for 70 yards, but even in a standard league, that's still 7 points, plus whatever he's going to get on the rushing side. You've actually kind of heard them once in a while saying these nice things and kind of complimentary things about Peyton Barber. And I actually think Emery said something nice about Peyton Barber before he departed for CVS. Well, go ahead.
He tries? Is that what the nice thing he said?
Oh, he said something about maybe almost like a pace setter. Like it wasn't like this great, like I've discovered the secret about Peyton Barber. It was more like what he does works in this offense.
Yeah, similar to Alfred Morris with the Giants. That's really what it's Peyton Barber's not in play unless you're desperate for a touchdown. Like if he doesn't get a touchdown, it's J.D. McKissick.
Well, more in the context of is he going to steal volume from J.D. McKissick? Not so much should you pick up Peyton Barber, but should you be afraid of Peyton Barber if you're going after J.D. McKissick or if you're thinking about starting him this week? Assuming Antonio Gibson's out.
Yeah, yes and no. I'm not scared to start J.D. McKissick because J.D. McKissick was already RB3 startable in half and full point PPR. I think he's now probably in the RB2 conversation. So he goes up, but not to the point where this isn't 20 touches now. J.D. McKissick's not going to be that guy. So yes, you should be scared, but more for the fact that just don't think that J.D. McKissick's all of a sudden a top 15 running back.
Jake, we got to talk Jalen Hurts, who might be the most exciting all of a sudden starter in the NFL right now. Missed out on his card buying window. Did I? Barely. But what do you think, Jake?
We're talking fantasy or real life?
Oh no. Well, all right. Let's talk Jalen Hurts. I know your rankings aren't ready yet. They'll be done tonight. They'll be up on the site midnight Eastern time. Where you think you might have him? Like, where is he kind of wavering right now? Is he 15? Is he 20? And then
somewhere in there.
What happens to everybody else around him?
So I think he'll probably be in the 15 to 20 range. The thing with Jalen Hurts, it might even be a little bit higher. Jalen Hurts. So I'm going to combine 2 names for you. He's actually 3 names. We're going to Voltron Jalen Hurts. Are you ready for this? Are you? Yeah. Oh, you're dead stare. Your video broke up. So
I know. I was skipping a little bit. I was trying to play that off. Cool.
So we're going to take Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
With Jameis Winston's decision making.
All right.
And then Kyler Murray's rushing upside.
All right.
That's okay. So that's why Jalen Hurts is probably going to be in the mid-teens because we saw it. Was it 5 for 40 in that game, or is it 5 for 50 running in that game? What did he? What was the?
I feel like it was a 40. I feel like it was in the 40s, but I can check. If you just want to keep talking about something else.
No, I'm pulling it up right now. 5 for 29. I overestimated. Still, 5 rushes coming in mid-game for Carson Wentz. That's why he has the Kyler Murray. If you said to me, Jalen Hurts is starting for all of 2021, say 700-800 rushing yards upside. The problem on the passing side is he's not going to throw for 300 yards. He's going to make. You saw Jalen Hurts. That game was the epitome and the perfect Jalen Hurts. Really good throw for that touchdown, and really good throws that some quarterbacks can't make. Yep. And then some really terrible decisions, one that led to an interception. So I think that's where you get the Jameis Winston could come out of this game with 240, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, but 7 rushes for 60 yards.
Yeah, which is good, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to do the math in my head. That's what, 8, 9. How many yards did you give him? 60?
60. I mean, that's a touchdown
that's
and 15.
A half. That's a touchdown. Give him 6 for the touchdown. That's 21, and then minus 6 brings you back to 15.
Yeah, so it's a low floor because it could definitely be worse than that. But I think that Hurts is certainly in play in fantasy. And looking at what it does for the receivers, I don't think it really changes much. I think Goddard, Ertz are still probably the top 2. Maybe it helps Jalen Reagor. I mentioned him in the waiver column. I would stash Jalen Reagor. I wouldn't start him, but I would stash him in case this helps give a little light under the offensive their side of ball.
Let me ask you this, Jakey Jakey, because this is, I mean, like I'm thinking if I had Jalen Hurts starting for me, I would feel excited that, you know what I mean? Like, Jalen Hurts, come on, like, this is the game I want to watch. Like, I want to see how he's going to do. That's how I felt with Daniel Jones before he got hurt. And the way you described Hurts kind of describes Jones. I mean, you got a rushing upside, makes bad decisions, prone to turnovers. But, I mean, not like the on-point passing. Is he better than Daniel Jones? Like, if you're a team that had Daniel Jones and you kind of rode him the last couple of weeks before he got hurt and you had to switch and go somewhere else, is Jalen Hurts now the guy you kind of want to move on if you want to get that same kind of feeling?
No, I'm not the biggest Daniel Jones fan, but I would still take Daniel Jones. It'd be close, though. I think that's a good comparison to make with how much Daniel Jones was rushing. And also, I trust Daniel Jones over the last few weeks is starting to be smarter with the ball. So that's really close. Put it this way, if you're one of the leagues that gives like -3 or -4 for interceptions, I'd be worried about Jalen Hurts.
Let's get some questions. We got one from Phil Mike. You probably don't want to answer this right now, but
this is the rest of the season. This isn't this week.
Oh, okay. Go ahead then. I see rank and I'm like, let me just put it up there anyway for Jake to yell at him.
Let's see. Probably Matt Ryan gets too much hate. Would probably be number 1.
This is almost a sentence.
What, Cam, Mitch, Hurts, Matt Ryan?
Yeah. Close. It's very close to being a sentence.
You could just say Cam Hurts, Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Look, if you look at it, Mitch, I just can't. The thing is it would probably be Matt Ryan, and then I would play matchups with the other 3. Like, they all have a very low floor, and they all have a lot of upside because Cam Newton is pure rushing and nothing else.
Gotcha.
Mitch Trubisky could throw 3 touchdowns as much as he could throw 3 interceptions. It would be matchups for the rest of them. If you only wanted 2, I would just go Matt Ryan. Honestly, Cam Newton at this point.
Brandon's got a question. Who's the safest play this week between Tim Patrick, T.Y. Hilton, and Michael Pittman?
I held up the boombox for T.Y. Hilton. We're look, Pittman's gotten the same amount of work over the last 2 games. The target share was vastly superior for T.Y. Hilton this past week. But if you look at the past 2 weeks, Pittman hasn't fallen aside. It's just that Pat Mayo brought this up on the show when I did his rankings today. Credit, and I'm giving him credit because I didn't notice this because I haven't fully watched this game yet. I'm still trying to catch up. But he said
we will let you go.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's Tuesday rankings. That's why rankings come out at midnight, because I'm still going back and watching some of the games I didn't watch the full game of. He said T.Y. Hilton wasn't running just 20 yards deep on every single play in the last game and somewhat in the game before that. And that's why he's starting to connect more with Phillip Rivers, because Phillip Rivers can't keep throwing it 20 yards downfield. So I actually think T.Y. Hilton's back in play as the safest.
Wow.
Tim Patrick has like 2 3-point games in the past 4 games.
What if I put Keke Coutee in that mix? Would he rank anywhere?
I put him side by side with T.Y. Hilton.
Oh, all right. Nice.
Tough matchup.
Yeah, but I mean, slot guy.
Yeah, but I'd still take T.Y. Hilton.
Bills running backs, Jake. All right.
In the waiver column, they've been in the Patriots games of don't mess with them for half the season. We jokingly said this too. If we're talking Bills running backs, I'm surprised you're in the playoffs. Like, how are you even using either single one of them? They get benched the moment they get fumbled. 2 weeks ago, Devin Singletary fumbled, barely got used the rest of the game. Zach Moss fumbles last night, out for almost the rest of the, like, I don't even know how many touches he got for the rest of the game after that, if any.
As opposed to Ronald Jones a couple weeks ago. Fumbles and then has a billion yards after.
Leonard Fournette keeps dropping passes and keeps getting used in the passing game.
Let's go to Christopher Khalil's question. Should he be scared to play the Pittsburgh defense against Buffalo?
No.
All right.
No. I mean, it depends on who you're going to turn to. Washington. Nando, explain this to me.
Matt knows what's up. Yeah.
Hopefully. How is the Washington defense under 30% rostered on Yahoo?
I don't know, man.
What the hell?
I have them everywhere, so I'm good. But I don't get it. People want to play matchups. They just think Washington sucks. But it's like, Jack Del Rio is your defensive coordinator, who's like one of the best defensive minds in the game. And when he was coaching, he was very defensive minded. I don't know. Riverboat Ron is your head coach, who's a defensive guy. Your number 1 pick was the best defensive player to come out of college.
You already had a good defensive line to start with.
Yeah. Like, what's the problem?
Here's for everybody out there. I've said this a lot. You want to attack defenses in fantasy, look for allowed quarterback pressure and then sack rates for the opponent, because that leads to turnovers because the quarterback is under duress. So look for those two and combine those two.
I like that. Good luck. Smash Small. I'm just kidding. You're a cool guy, Phil. Dobbins or Akers rest of the season?
Dobbins.
Yeah? Vaccaro's very high on Akers.
I'm high on Akers too. I'm not high on Sean McVay.
All right, hey, I'm just
and Akers missed the mystical practice of Monday. Like they didn't practice, but he would have missed practice if they practiced.
Yeah, right. His shoulder injury, DNP Monday, even though no one peed Monday. Here's a good question from John Lee for teams that are out of it. What do you do the last few weeks here, Jake?
I actually do have a cool idea. I've been throwing this one around. Draft for the final 3 weeks. Have like a little 6-team, 8-team league. Make it 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. Like, so you don't even have to start a tight end if you don't want to. Just make it a small, maybe 8 teams, 10 teams, whatever. Just make it a smaller draft, smaller roster, so it's not super involved, and just have another draft just for 3 weeks and play it out for like $50. Everybody pitches in 5, 10 teams, $5. There you go. Winner takes $50.
Well, that means you got to find some other teams that didn't make the playoffs.
They can still play. I'd play. Even in the leagues that have made the playoffs.
I like that, Jake.
I don't know why more people don't do this. Just do a 3-week playoff draft.
People draft for the
playoffs with only 8 teams, and yet people don't want to just do it for the last 3 weeks.
I think you can just go start a league on Yahoo or something and just play it out starting now.
Yeah, there's a lot of sites.
You used to be able to do that. One more question, then we'll let you go watch tape, Jake. This is another one from Timothy. Eagles, RBs, and Patriots games moving forward?
No, 100%.
100%?
Yeah, I actually forgot to include them. Only because there's no question about it. It was like, did we not just watch Doug Peterson go right back to being Doug Peterson? He was already kind of being Doug Peterson when Miles Sanders came back from his injury. And now you throw Jordan Howard into the mix.
Jordan Howard looked good. Looked spry.
My only theory behind this is maybe Miles Sanders just isn't 100%.
I guess we could have looked it up, but I don't know how he is in pass protection or anything like that either. I remember I was doing a lot, so I was doing the CBS show live, and Jordan Howard had come in and he just run for like his 11-yard run, I think it was, and they took him out, and it was Azer, and Azer's like, all right, Miles Sanders is back in, and immediately Carson Wentz gets sacked. And he wasn't in pass protection there, he was running a route, but still, maybe there's something there. Maybe the reason he wasn't in pass protection.
I'm pulling it up right now and see if I can. All right, let's see. Let's do minimum snaps. What do you want to say? 20%?
But it doesn't matter. Antonio Gibson was 125th in pass protection, and he just went nuts like the 3 weeks after we discovered that.
Well, I was going to say, I think it's a little bit overstated. So Miles Sanders. This does matter a little bit of running backs that have played 20% of the snaps this year. You know where he grades in pass blocking? There's only 50 running backs.
106.
There's only 50.
49th.
50th.
43rd.
50th.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Right in front of him, Melvin Gordon, James White, Aaron Jones, Royce Freeman. Those are the other guys down there by him.
All right. You're lucky to have me here.
Kerryon Johnson and Damian Harris, 1 and 2. J.D. McKissick, number 3.
I guess you can see my parents' photos in the background. That's not me. One of my siblings.
I think that's a vast estimation, too. It's not that clear to be able to really see that picture.
All right, I really got to fix what's going on in the background here. I think this is one of the Santa Clauses we just pulled out for upstairs.
That box looks like it's been thrown around, too.
That's got a little... I don't know what's in here, Jake.
This is super helpful.
All right, anyway. We'll give this we were ending this anyway.
Okay.
Enough of my background. It'll be different next time you see us. And I think we got Claudia Bellafato possibly joining us again on Thursday, Jake.
Okay.
So I'll just step off to the side and see what
Let
maybe
the
there's
fun dictate.
There's a stone wall over there I can get in front of. There's a bar. There's a bar over here, Jakey Jakey. Look at that bar.
You're gonna stonewall us?
Okay, go do your work. Thank you all for joining us. We hope this is helpful. Check out the basketball draft kit because it is awesome. If you're already a subscriber, just go right over there and start reading. If you're not, there's a very good deal attached to it. I don't know what it is. I think it's $1 a month. That might still be a thing, but I haven't checked. Anyway, thanks very much for joining us. That's Jake Seeley. I'm Nano DeFino. We'll see you again soon. Jake, any parting words before I search for the graphic to bring up?
I might have only sleepers. Don't know if I'll have rankings tonight because of the game. We'll see. It depends on if the data's out there by the time it finishes.
Fair enough. Bye, everybody.